preparation for the finals. Darren Goldspeak and Grant Vernon are our umpires. We are set to go in this all-important clash. A big task for Donald McDonald, giving away plenty of height in the middle against Damien Burke. Let's see how he fares. In fact, McDonald wins the first one, taps it wide. Brunn's got a touch, but that was all. Another bounce still in the... A lot of rain overnight here, Bernie.
And also this morning, Sandy. It's copped a lot of rain, this ground.
Wayne Schwass at the bottom of the pack. Still in the centre. Burke at the second attempt missed it. Bairstow had the football held to him. So we'll have our third bounce in the same spot.
And one of the fancies there for the Brownlow medal, Mark Bairstow. He played very well in the first half of the season.
Yes, made a great return to Gardenia Park from late grace. Couch taps it towards Buse. Intercepted by Larkin. A high kick. Spencer waits. Burke comes over the top. Pushes it wide for Couch. Rocks on his hammer. But he gets away. Went backwards looking for Bruns. Hinkley. Claim. Pushed forward towards the middle. Simpson has been in excellent touch. Gets a high kick. Up to the half-forward line. Buse stood his ground. Couch couldn't take it. Rock in for a hurried left foot kick. Gathered no distance. Schwass, this could well be the pattern of the afternoon, gentlemen. It is not going to be easy.
No, it's very difficult conditions. Probably the wettest we've seen this ground for a couple of years, Sandy, since they did the surface work on it. It has been in excellent condition over the last couple of years, but this year it has certainly gone backwards.
Well, the players surely have had 6 or 7 weeks of these conditions, and a couple of the grounds have been very, very ordinary, so they must be used to it by now. Hocking sweeping hand pass gives Bruns the chance. Left foot kick into the pocket. Brownless, what a brilliant gather by Billy Brownless. Round into the right foot. He's kicked it into the square. Ablett! Oh, nearly held it long enough. Doing a bit of shepherding. And Michael Martin will take the free kick. And the umpire right on the spot there for a decision that would not please the Geelong fans, but certainly Gary Ablett.
He just couldn't hold this. He positioned himself very well. He lost the ball when he actually hit the ground, fell to the ground. Ball
comes out to half-back. Chance here for Scholl. Can't control the football. It goes over boundary throw-in. Right half-forward for Geelong. About 2 kicks from their goal.
Michael Martin with the job on Gary Ablett, and Fairley with the job on Billy Brownless.
McDonald, what a big job he's got. Burke gets the tap down. Bairstow can't control it. Still in there, Mark Bairstow. Handball's a little too fiercely back for Buse. Buse breaks the tackle. Then handball's wider still. Hinkley's a chance here with the left foot in towards centre half forward. Gary Hocking and Anthony Rock. Kick off the ground by German, goes wide to a very vacant wing position.
Bruns could be first to the football. One of the veterans at Catland, almost tackled high. Hocking over the top to Bruns. Could have almost socked off the ground on that occasion, but it's come off. It's found Wills. He's on centre wing. Sends Geelong down towards Ablett again. At the back was Martin. Chance now for Hocking. Caught by Martin. Well claimed. The ball spills free to Scholl. Pushes it out over the half-back line. Taken by Crocker. And Darren Crocker steadies. Goes up towards Carey territory, but it's Stoneham who fists away. Steve Hocking. First to the football, but under plenty of pressure. Romero in over the top. Going to be a free kick in the back to Steve Hocking.
Stephen Hocking picked a play in the centre. Looks as though he may have a tagging role, maybe on Jose Romero. Damien Burke. Little tap out. Couch. A kick long towards half forward. Getting rid of his opponent there was Denham. Goes in after it again, and he gets his right foot to the ball. Kicks it inside 50. Rocker's there. Brownless a little late. Rock's kick marked by Donald McDonald. Well, he's got a big heart, Donald McDonald, and he's been playing very, very well in the reserves over the last few weeks, and back into this North Melbourne side. Let's hope he can play a serviceable game for the Kangaroos.
Wills again. Wide to the outer side. And that ball just virtually sits.
It's very heavy in that part of the ground, Sandy. As you can see, as the boundary umpire ran in there, the water was splashing up off his boots.
The crowd has built up pretty well. It's a very important game, this one. North's finals hopes could rest on it.
Well, if they lose, you'd expect Collingwood to win today, and next week's game, Collingwood go down to Geelong. What a crackerjack game that'll be.
My word. Burke, just a little too much height towards the North Melbourne half-forward line. Hinckley's kick just drifts across the centre. Larkin working hard, gives it to his teammate in McCarthy. Now an opportunity for North to get away through Darren Steele. Up towards the 50-metre line and inside. Stoneham at the back, sneaks away. Left foot kick is wide, finding Bruns. Well, he's been busy in the opening minutes, Neville Bruns. Towards centre wing, Schwass couldn't handle the slippery ball. Burke nicely to Couch. Goes back again to the big man. Off to Wills. He plods through the mud, but does it well. In towards half forward. Out comes Brownless. Goes to ground. With him is Anthony Rock. Couch. Taken out by Schwass. McRae. With him is his teammate Peter German. But it's McRae who kicks North out of the danger zone. Up towards half forward. Only as far as Stephen Hocking. His hand pass a little too far for Bruns. Sockers forward does Hocking and pushes it over the line.
North Melbourne fans obviously looking for a free kick for their player Stevens on the bottom of the pack there, but none forthcoming. Boundary throw in centre wing out of side. McDonald and Burke. Burke gets the tap down. It's punched back by North Melbourne towards their half forward area. And it goes over for a boundary throw in. Peter German there in the picture. Gary Hocking. Both been good players for their respective teams over the entire season. Larkin. A kick towards centre half forward. Marking contest back there. Stoneham can't take it. Ramiro's in the middle of the action where he usually is. Kick off the ground by Stevens. Goes to within scoring distance for North Melbourne. Buse falls on top of it. And the umpire will call for a bounce.
It's good courage there by Buse putting his body in.
Does a wet track, Bernie, influence perhaps one of these sides more than the other?
I think they've both got fairly good on-ball players, Sandy, so I don't think any side's particularly advantaged or disadvantaged by these conditions.
Burke's tap out. Stoneham overruns it. Kick off the ground by Steele. It rebounds over for a boundary thrown in the right forward pocket. Well, we've played 5 or 6 minutes and still no score. As we look at the Geelong bench, that's young Lamb with Neild. And here's a chance for Geelong to clear. Back towards centre half forward. Gathered by McDonald. Gets it away to Scholl. He loves this. Great Scholl. Shot for goal. Oh, Longmire. Can he break the tackle? Rogers is the Geelong player. Longmire gets the hand pass back to the front of the goals. Bairstow's caught by Scholl. Ramiro. Oh, great smother back there by Poole. And still Geelong struggle hard to clear the football. Hinckley. Hocking. It's a real dour go as Mark Roberts kicks across his body and just gets something from nowhere. A great goal kicked by Mark Roberts, the first goal of the game.
Yes, it certainly was that, Robbo. Tremendous play by Roberts. He's just back from suspension. And he did his time, 2 weeks. And back into that side. Maybe the Geelong player, they're making a mistake coming back inboard instead of going towards the boundary line. That was Ken Hinckley. And this allowed big Mark Roberts to come in, and of course he's very good at that snapshot across his body.
So the Roos getting the first goal of the game through Mark Roberts. He'll be delighted to be back in the fray once again. Burke sets himself for the centre bounce, and he's beaten again. Chance for North through Anthony Stevens to go up towards Schwass across that half-forward line, but Bruns is in there. Stevens in again, like a real little terrier. And another bounce. We mentioned how important this game is for North. Well, it's also important for Geelong if they want to snare the double chance and finish in the top 2. That's the good news. Perhaps the bad news is you have to go to Perth to play the West Coast Eagles. However, plenty of football left in this season. Bruns
in the back.
Advantage will be paid to Couch off to Bairstow. Back to Stephen Hocking. Well, they're giving a lot of ground to gain a little. Bruns' kick is high towards centre wing. McCarthy up towards half forward. Anthony Rock in towards full forward once again. Longmire. Can he get clear of Hinckley and Poole? No, but he slaps it out the back. No one at home, however, for him. And Geelong out of trouble once again. Simpson towards Darcy, who's down on the wing with Crocker. And Darcy, I think, will be happy to see that ball over the line. So a testing start for the Cats. From the throw-in, Stevens again. His kick is wide, going to be close, in fact, out of bounds on the full.
Donald McDonald, sorry Sandy, I was just going to say Donald McDonald doing well in the ruck early against Burke. He is giving away 8 centimetres in height. So a couple of the centre bounces early, he's been jumping very well.
Poole's kick goes to the wing. Bairstow gets about 15 or 20 metres and it's taken over by Schwass. So boundary throw in on centre wing. Wayne Schwass, very good player for North Melbourne on centre wing. Had a pretty good season as well. McDonald, Burke. If Burke gets the front pos, he's going to be difficult to beat. Simpson can't really get through. Chance for Ramiro, and sizes it up and kicks it towards half forward. It's 50 metres from the North Melbourne goal. Bruns bucked off it by Carey. Buse is there for the Cats. Wills, awkward one. The wind playing havoc with the football. Steele, German, feinted the hand pass and then goes straight towards goal. German has kicked North Melbourne's second goal. Peter German gets his first goal. North get their second. And there's a Geelong player in trouble behind play on centre wing.
I think it's Kenny Hinkley, Robbo, and that came from that bad hand pass. There's the hip and shoulder from Wayne Schwass, and that all came about because the hand pass wasn't spot on from, I think it was Andrew Buse coming out of the back line. He had the ball, and Ken Hinkley, who's been one of Geelong's better players throughout the season, that will be a big loss if he's not right.
North Melbourne by 12 points from the bounce. Denham can't take it, doing the work from behind. McDonald tries to flick it further forward. Bruns hands it to Damien Burke. And
tell you what, they ought to take Hinkley off, Sandy. He just ran away from the trainers and stumbled, and surely Bernie, with the interchange,
yes,
rip him off for 5 minutes and assess it.
Well, if there's any worry, I think they're bringing him off now, Robbo. Yes, the runner's out there taking him straight off the ground to let the doctor have a look at him.
Burke swats it, but straight to Swash. Schwass. McCarthy. It's going to be a problem, that. Right, over the top. Clever tap on, puts North Melbourne inside 50. Carey, under great pressure, wanted to give it to Stevens, but good work by Buse. Gives it to Wills. His kick goes towards Bairstow. He couldn't trap it, but Simpson gives him support. Sean Simpson, a floating punt up towards half forward. Spencer trying to tap it wide to accommodate Gary Hocking. Larkin looks for the free kick and he's going to get it. Matthew Larkin will kick just over the centre. Stoneham gets front spot and fist down Bairstow. Runs it away so beautifully. Gives it to Simpson, who goes back the other way and finds Tim Darcy. Good strong mark by Darcy then, and no one on the mark, so he runs on straight down the middle. He's looking for Brownless. With him is Fairley. Neither can mark. Ablett and Martin. Back to Brownless again. Gets the hand pass away to Denham. He shoots in towards goal and puts the first one on the board for the Cats. So the Geelong side on the board, trailing by 1 goal.
Yes, and that's the problem for North Melbourne. They've got so many good players, Geelong, on their forward line. Billy Brownless recovered well here, contested the mark, then backed up on the ground. He's had a suspect hamstring all season. That left hamstring's been a big problem to Billy Brownless. But he recovered very well, stooped down to pick up the ball and gave it to Sean Denham running past to kick Geelong's first.
And very importantly, there was some very precise movements of the football there by Geelong. And in these conditions, that is a big plus. Hinkley off the ground, replaced by Lamb. North Melbourne go towards half forward. Or Couch leaves it behind, but he's able to gather his thoughts and get back in there after it. Bruns, lovely shepherd by Denham, gave Bruns the chance, and he hits Darcy on the chest with a good kick on the heavy ground. Darcy's kicking towards half forward. Couch has run beautifully. Ablett nearly kept Martin out of the contest. Michael Martin able to knock the ball away to the safety of the boundary line. And Ken Hinkley in trouble. Gerard Healy?
Yes, well, he's just a little bit dazed, Robbo. He's been taken off the ground, obviously. Doctor has checked him, and I'm being told he will come back on the ground.
Spencer doing the ruck work on that occasion. Couch at the bottom. Wayne Schwass asks the question.
Actually, getting back to Kenny Hinkley, that will be a big loss if he's not right throughout the day. He's been a very good attacking half-back for Geelong right throughout the season. That's him on the bench there, Kenny.
Thrown once again. Same two combatants, Couch and Schwass. Still at it. The Brownlow medalist with a wry smile picks himself up, and Romero will bring it back into play. Jose from half-back. Burke just thumps it down, but straight to Matty Larkin, who really had nowhere to go. Denham towards Simpson, or at least that's who he wanted, but intercepted by Anthony Stevens is good football. Up over the centre goes the kick from Stevens. Now Wills, did it beautifully. Back through the pack. Gave it to Stoneham, who kicks up towards Tim Darcy. He can't take the mark. Simpson ripped off the football. McCarthy, a little bit of soccer tactics. Almost worked. Got to be a free kick to Geelong there. McCarthy infringing. Darcy held.
He started off okay too, Tim Darcy, playing across that half-forward line, being picked up by Darren Crocker.
A couple of good marks he's taken so far. A flat-looking helicopter punt. Brownless. At the bottom is fairly with him.
And a helicopter punt, Sandy. That's a new one. What do they do? Whirl and twirl and whirl and twirl.
They go the wrong way, don't they, Sandy?
Correct.
And actually, Simpson could have taken that mark probably if he had a turn around and looked at the ball.
Speaking of Simpson, it passes him there. Larkin to Scholl. Back to Larkin. On to Romero. Oh, he almost goes underground to get out of trouble, but he does it well. Towards Burke. Straight through him. At the back is Stoneham. Roberts pushes forward. An opportunity now for Carey. He's on centre wing. Hurried left foot kick up towards the half-forward line. Longmire will have to tap it on. And that's exactly what he does. Beautiful play to Allison, and he hasn't been able to capitalise on it.
It was a pity, Sandy, because it was good work by Longmire. He was surrounded by about 4 or 5 Geelong players. And the goal sneak over the last few weeks couldn't finish it off. That was Brett Allison.
9.5 minutes left. It could have been an important goal for North Melbourne. We've assessed the wind advantage at 4 goals. North at the moment lead by 7 points. Chance for Rock, leaves it for the captain. Larkin off the left foot, kicks it into the pocket, and well done Matthew Larkin. Had a look, McDonald was on his own, and the kick was very, very good.
Well, Donald McDonald obviously being used as an extra player in attack this week. Normally the ruckmen drift back across that half-back line, but with North Melbourne kicking with the breeze in this first quarter, it's a good move because Donald McDonald, a very mobile ruckman, only filling in as a ruckman today, but a player who's capable of getting down there and kicking goals.
Yeah, McDonald is about 35 metres out, tight angle. Should get the distance quite comfortably. What a lovely kick, it's a goal. Donald McDonald gets North Melbourne's 3rd goal, and they lead by 13 points.
And doing it quite well at the moment too, North Melbourne, winning the ball quite often out of that centre bounce. As we watch this in replay again, Matty Larkin off the left boot, just saw McDonald, good vision there to spot McDonald in that forward pocket, and from about 40 metres out. Fairly heavy ball at this stage of the day. Even though it's early in the game, he put it right through the middle.
13 points the margin, just on 8.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Centre bounce once again, and Burke comes over the top and he hammers it 25 metres down to the Geelong half-forward line. It's socket off the ground, still going towards Ablett, who cocked one as he tried to flick it wide. Martin got the hand pass quickly to Scholl, who puts it over his body. Lamb, the spoiler, on Stevens. The two still going at it. Simpson wanted the hand pass out. Stoneham does eventually get it out to Buse. On to Couch. Put him under great pressure, he'll lose that. If he'd known, he could have tapped it on instead of trying to take the ball, but it's Craig Scholl. Sending North to their left half forward flank. Allison is his target. With him is Steve Hocking. Allison just goes over the line.
This is no minute, took him over really, didn't it? He gathered it nicely.
But North have it in their attacking zone. Right on the 50-metre line. For the Roos, Burke in front, Lamb, Bruns. Neville Bruns goes back towards Simpson. Scholl will come over the top and fist it down. He does. But straight back to Bruns. He's been in absolutely everything in this first quarter. Neville Bruns, or Ablett got the ride. Couldn't complete the mark. Slapped towards the boundary line. And Gary Hocking sees it over.
How many times would you see that ball that bounces out towards the boundary line just sit a little bit, and that just kept on gathering pace, didn't it?
And it is pretty heavy there too, so you probably would expect it to just sit and prop in the mud there.
8 possessions to Neville Bruns to date. What a quarter.
Yes, it is obviously the far side of the ground from half forward to half forward that's the heaviest part.
Yep.
This side's not too bad.
Throw in once again. Burke will do his own roving, and he gets unceremoniously dumped as the ball breaks free.
McDonald now in the goal square. He's changing with Mark Roberts in the ruck. So 2 players that haven't done a lot of ruck work competing against Damien Burke.
And Burke nullified. Scholl's kick back in towards the centre. Bruns, another possession. And whoever's playing on him will have to tighten up a bit. Handball away, 50-metre penalty.
He may be playing in the centre, Bruns, on Peter German.
Well, German will have to do something about his work. Bruns has had 5 kicks and 3 hand passes. This will be his 6th kick. And a 50-metre penalty brings him up to the 50-metre mark from goal. Short pass is a great pass, but what a wonderful lead by Brownless.
Well, it always should be a wonderful lead there when North Melbourne have left so much space there that he can run into. And that is very poor defence by the North Melbourne players. They had plenty of time to get back there. The 50-metre penalty had been applied, and yet they left all that space there for Billy Brownless to lead into.
Now Brownless will get the distance and will get the accuracy. Second goal for Geelong. Billy Brownless gets his first. North Melbourne lead 19-12.
It's a very important player in the Geelong forward line, Billy Brownless. As we look at that pass again, there's 3 North Melbourne players could have dropped in there and filled up that space. And yet they chose to just wait back and leave the space open there for Billy to lead into. And Billy has now kicked 63 goals for the season.
Handy goal to the Cats into the breeze. They trail now by 7 points. Under 6 minutes remaining. It's a pretty strong breeze too that North has. From the middle. The Roos a chance, pushing wide to Scholl. Kicks high around his body. Bruns eyes for the ball. Takes the mark. Well, away goes Neville Bruns. Coming back into the seniors, and he's loving this. Couch. Oh, gets into trouble and gives it to Buse. Goes with the left foot. High. Spencer. Couple of grabs but couldn't complete it. Schwass gets away quickly and finds Roberts on the chest. Off to German. Peter German sending North through half forward. Romero had front spot, was spoilt, then ridden into the ground. No free kick. Wills. Clears towards the centre. Darcy racing for the football. His opponent Crocker, however it is, who gets it out. Rogers now to the left half forward flank. Into the quagmire goes Anthony Rock. Back towards centre wing and back towards Darren Crocker. A little bit of time and space. So he looks it in towards half forward and the mark is taken. And here's an opportunity for Scholl. He sets sail for home with a long kick, the shepherding, but it doesn't matter, it's offline and one behind Craig Scholl.
He's had a couple of chances, Craig Scholl. One kick dropped short, and that one just missed the target. But 2 opportunities that they should have really been goals from Craig Scholl.
And Wayne Schimmelbusch looking a little concerned. They've kicked 3-2, but they've got a fairly strong breeze at their back, and Geelong have kicked 2 goals into that breeze. The mark taken at half back by Simpson. Simpson plays on, kicks with the left foot towards centre wing, and a good mark taken by Spencer. Handballs away to Bairstow. Bairstow, who loves to run with the football. Kick towards half forward, and the mark is taken by Ablett. A long way away from Martin, and that pass is a great one to Brownless. He runs on. Into an open goal goes Billy, and hits the post. Bustling Billy Brownless. what a great sight it is for Geelong fans to see him running freely up there on the forward line. McRae to kick it back in, goes to the far side. Marking contest out there. Well done, Burke. Too tall. And takes it nicely at the second grab. Damien Burke looks as though he's a man with a mission this afternoon. And hooks this kick a little bit into the left forward pocket. Marking contest. Ablett from behind had no chance. Larkin. Away he goes to McCarthy, and that really was all right. Could have gone anywhere though. Schwass was on the end of it. And the kick by Wayne Schwass to half forward. Here's Stoneham, just kicking it in front of himself, and eventually it goes over for a boundary throw-in. Good defensive work by Barry Stoneham.
Yes, it should be a terrific contest, that one too. Stoneham against the up-and-comer Wayne Carey. Stoneham the best and fairest for Geelong last season, and the Wayne Carey obviously a danger man for North Melbourne.
Stevens ripped off the football. Lamb gets it to Bruns for yet another possession. He kicks up towards the half-forward line. Couch held when he didn't have it. So Paul Couch, this will be his 7th possession. Sending the Cats towards the 50-metre line. Brownless out, but very late. Over Buse it goes. Brownless, somehow he gets through to Denham. Sean Denham has booted one. He'll go up towards Darcy, but he's beaten by Darren Crocker. That's a fine mark. Waste no time, Crocker. Coming grandstand side, it skids to the half-back line, where Scholl gets around Simpson. He's got a player loose, and that's a lovely delivery to Donald McDonald. He can go over the top to Romero, but turns his back and goes back to kick long. Inside 2 minutes. North would love a couple of quick ones with this breeze, because the Cats are going to have it in the second quarter. Stoneham back to centre wing once again. Well, Spencer flew from behind. Buse gets crunched by Larkin. Spencer has another go. Gets tackled by Stevens. McDonald soccers off the ground, but straight to Wills. He can't shrug the tackle, but he does get rid of the football to Hocking. He's claimed. The ball spills free. Buse off to Burke. He gets a kick towards half forward. Ablett comes steaming out. Couch going across the centre. Schwass off the ground. Bruns first to the ball. A minute remaining. Neville Bruns. Possession number 12 goes into Wills in the centre, who's got a bit of space. Long and low. Poor delivery. Straight onto the chest of Martin.
Martin from centre half back will kick North Melbourne back in towards the centre of the ground, but there's only a minute left, so they'd have to do something quite remarkable here to score a goal. Kicks it wide. Player making position on this near side wing is Rock. Must move it on quickly. Kicks it towards half forward. Stoneham in front. Carey from behind. Kick off the ground back there by Stephen Hocking. Picked off by Lamb. Bairstow. Gary Hocking looked for the hand pass, then touches it on the ground. Left foot kick in towards the centre. Not too bad. Spencer interfered with there by McCarthy. Takes the kick, or the hand pass, away to Couch. And Geelong up towards half forward. Breaks down. Mark taken by Crocker. And only seconds left in the term. Darren Crocker goes to the far side. Mark taken out there by Donald McDonald. Nearly fumbled it, but now able to steady from half back. No chance really to score, but he kicks it high towards half forward. And Stoneham will take the last mark of the first quarter. At quarter time, North Melbourne lead by 7 points. North Melbourne 3-2, Geelong 2-1.
So now we'll see what Geelong can do with the breeze in the second quarter. Those flags, still plenty of movement in them. Burke wins it towards the half-forward line, and Bairstow stabs it up in towards the pocket. It reaches the 50-metre line, but it wobbles over the barrel.
Robbo, wasn't that exactly what you were talking about?
Well,
as soon as you said it, Bairstow went straight for the pocket.
And that was because the player trying to put some pressure on him. Coming from the right side, Mark Bairstow probably should have kicked it with the left foot and hooked it back towards centre half forward.
Exactly.
Spencer has front spot, and he plucks it out of there. Goes onto the left foot, gets a short kick, didn't quite get to Denham, however. Couch takes the mark. Still outside 50, Paul Couch. And he gets behind this one, and he pumps it deep in towards full forward. Brownless gets back. McCarthy on the last line of defence. Kicks under pressure. It's wide, and it's out of bounds on the full. So Geelong through Darcy will get another chance. Tim Darcy has been used at both ends of the ground.
He'll nearly kick this.
I feel confidence.
Just watching
With
the
Ian
wind.
Robertson.
The wind is blowing from the right, certainly going in towards the goals. And if he can just set it up out to the right of the right-hand goalpost.
Darcy's kick. Well, one behind. Wayne Johnston the dominator, Ian Robertson the nominator. But it didn't quite work.
Oh, you never get any points for sitting on the fence, do you, Sandy? You've got to have a bit of a lash at it.
Have a dip. So a point to the Cats. Brings them at 1 point closer. Makes it Martin under great pressure. Ablett over the top of him and over the line. Sun shining over VFL Park at the moment. On a wet night. A wintry morning. McDonald and Burke to contest. And Burke with that roundhouse right is like a windmill. Slaps it. But it goes to McCarthy. He goes for a little chip. And look at that ball. Martin was expecting it to come onto him, but it just sat. However, he gets the hand pass away and North Melbourne out of trouble. McRae's kick goes up towards centre wing. If North can get a couple into the breeze early, it will do their cause no end of good. Allison was sneaking past, but he couldn't take the football with him. Hawkins soccers off the ground, only as far as Buse. He does get boot to ball. Now Simpson. Off to Lamb. And Geelong out of trouble, up to Spencer. Quickly on to Paul Couch, and he sends Geelong inside 50. Brownless at the back. Was there a nudge? The umpire says play on, as McRae gets North out of trouble once more.
Kick goes wide towards this near half-back area. Thumped away by Tim Darcy from Craig Scholl. And we'll have a boundary throw in left half forward for the Cats. 6 points the difference, North Melbourne lead. Ruckman gathering. Spencer and McCarthy. McCarthy gets the tap down. Rock can't quite get an effective hand pass away. Couch's right foot kick up to within 30 metres of goal. Out comes Brownless. Chance now for Martin for North Melbourne. Handballs away to Steele. North could mount something here. He's got a player in support to the right, but he elects to go more or less in towards the centre where McDonald receives. Now onto the right foot. No, hand pass over the top. Good play, Donald McDonald. Good running by German. German's kick towards full forward. No mark taken back here. The race is on. Allison. Good strength by Stephen Hocking. Back it goes. Chance for Spargo, who's come on in the start of this second term. Longmire. Ramiro gets his left foot to the ball. Thumped away by Wills. Stevens tries to get it to Jose. Jose's handball back again. Stevens is caught and will be penalised.
Great tackle.
Yes, wonderful tackling by the Cats. There's a couple of chances there. Jose ducked under a tackle. He could have almost been pinged for holding the ball also.
Lamb's high kick towards half-back. McDonald from behind. The punch goes down to the front of the pack. Gary Hocking, a wonderful gather. And he's able to slip the tackle. Gets onto the left foot. A rather ordinary little kick, but it's picked off by Spencer. Away to Simpson, and Geelong get the ball towards half-forward.
Martin and Ablett. Martin's had the better of that duel at the moment. He's done well, Mickey Martin. Craig Scholl running through the centre. Towards Allison. Couldn't take it on the half volley. This opens the door for Steve Hocking, his immediate opponent. Shrugs the tackle. Does well. Kicks poorly, however, to centre wing, and the mark taken by Larkin.
And Burke doesn't look too good. He's a bit proppy on that left leg, which has been causing him a lot of problems. He withdrew from that Perth game against the West Coast Eagles with an infected left knee, and he's definitely limping.
Well, we'll keep an eye on him because they don't want to lose him. Buse to Lamb. Oh, and Geelong have got some space here. Couch thought about going off, now swings round onto the left foot. Here comes the lead from Billy Brownless. Yes!
He makes a big difference of this Geelong attack, Billy Brownless. 63 goals for the season. He's had a lot of hamstring problems with that left leg. There's a magnificent kick for goal. Just getting over the top of Ian Fairley there.
Well, Spencer was alone.
Inexcusable, isn't it, Sandy? His opponent, of course, is McCarthy, who's playing at centre-half back for North Melbourne. Spencer playing centre-half forward for Geelong.
Spencer goals. And Geelong tied up here at VFL Park. It's 3-2 apiece.
Well, that's something I suppose the North Melbourne defenders would expect Billy Brownless to go back and have a shot at goal from about that distance, but they should still worry about their opponent. And Trevor Spencer just snuck in front of goal. He wasn't picked up by his opponent there, John McCarthy. And good play by Billy Brownless to pass it over the top and make certain of that goal.
Ramiro is off the ground for North Melbourne, and Storitsky has just come on. And Jared, you've got a report down there on the boundary line?
Yes, it appears though Jose Ramiro has strained his left thigh and he's gone up the race with the doctor, probably to have a bit of ice applied.
And Crocker clears for North Melbourne, wide to the wing. The ball may sit for German. Sweeping hand pass, chance for Schwass. Another long hand pass. Carey finding it difficult to break away from the defence of Geelong. In towards the forward pocket area, Spargo harassed and brilliantly harassed by Poole. Stevens under pressure. Geelong crashing through in the form of Simpson, and the umpire now calls for a bounce. In front of the small scoreboard here at VFL Park, there's Anthony Stevens just picking himself up, and very difficult over there on that far side of the ground. McDonald and Burke. Away it comes to Stoneham. Stoneham's kick back in towards the centre. Couch can't break away from Schwass. Tap off by Simpson wasn't too bad. It was Spencer rather. Ball comes back to Scholl. Bruns the tackler. Chance for Storitsky. Handball away to German. Off the left foot. In towards the pocket. Mark is taken by Rock. He plays on. Shot for goal by Anthony Rock is good. Great kick by the North Melbourne Rover, and North hit back there 4-2, Geelong at 3-2.
Showing a lot of desperation, North Melbourne, as you would expect. They're probably their last chance today. They need to win this match against Geelong to retain their position in the top 6. Shocking loss last week against Fitzroy, and they've really come out firing on all guns today. They just really need to show that they have the desperation and determination to do well today.
Burke and Couch await proceedings. Under 18 minutes remaining. Burke wins it to Bairstow. Look at that lightning hand pass from Bairstow onto Hocking, but his goes astray. It's taken by Larkin. Matty Larkin at half back. He's got Scholl earmarked, and he takes it. Now they're starting to create something here because Schwass is out wide. It sits, he gathers, gives the hand pass back to Donald McDonald. Down towards full forward, Longmire almost infringing, trying to go over the top. Couldn't pick it up. Stoneham does well. Threads his way through the pack, kicks Geelong long out of trouble, and a good mark taken by Spencer.
Excellent mark. Actually, Carey is being well beaten by Stoneham at centre half back, who's doing a good job for Geelong.
Good pick up on the half volley by Sean Denham. Out comes Billy Brownless. A tap on. He wanted Hocking going past. The idea was there, but he couldn't execute it. And Martin, once again, gets out of trouble. He does it too easily. Coming away. Kicks high. Back towards the centre. And again, a good mark taken by Spencer.
And McCarthy not doing the job at centre half back either for North Melbourne.
Punch.
Both key positions. Carey's down and McCarthy's down.
Kick from Spencer. Up towards the 50-metre line. Fairley and Brownless were chasing. Oh, the hand pass is going to go straight to Buse. It could give it to Brownless. Billy's 50 out. Sweeps a long hand pass to Ablett, who's crunched. Denham close to the boundary line. And Ablett makes sure no one gets in the way of Brownless, who shoots it towards goal. But he drifts it right across the face. In fact, Larkin will keep it in play. The ball stopped. Matthew Larkin from fullback. Going back towards the half-back line. A good attempt to mark by Darren Steele. Opening the door for Bairstow. He heads towards Brownless.
Beautiful play, Sandy. Just a little bit of a nudge. As Ken Hinkley prepares to come back on the ground for Geelong.
Would you reckon they were a bit stiff back in the centre where Steele was dispossessed by Bairstow?
Well, it was just good persistence, I felt, by the Geelong players.
Great angle, and he's snuck that one through for a goal. So Brownless gets his second, and again, Geelong tie up the scores.
And interesting, Gary Ablett, who's been thrashed by Michael Martin coming off the ground, and Ken Hinkley is replacing him. And not a bad move, because Ken Hickley on that forward line, as we've seen on a number of occasions, can swing a game around, as he did for Victoria this year against Tasmania in that last quarter.
Brownless, 2 goals, Gary Ablett off the ground. The fluctuating fortunes of 2 of Geelong's champions, and there's another one who's played very well across the half-back line for Geelong this year, coming on to replace Gary Ablett and going straight up into the forward line. Couch, a right foot kick towards centre-half forward. Chance here for McRae, running fiercely at the football and kicks it beautifully and hits Scholl on the chest. The handball goes wider still. McRae, 2 possessions from that passage of play. The kick was ordinary in the finish. Stoneham leaves it for Burke. Burke's kick towards half forward. Spencer overruns it. Kick off the ground came from Carey. They may have made the change, North Melbourne there, Bernie. Schwass, handball. Stevens goes to Carey. Maybe Carey and McCarthy have changed places. Here's McCarthy at half forward, but he leaves it, and Longmire marks within 50 metres of goal.
I have, Robbo. They've swapped over. Carey now at centre-half back and McCarthy centre-half forward.
And Staritsky back on the bench. Ramiro onto the ground again. The kick towards the full forward line, and Roberts is infringed there on Stephen Hocking, and the Geelong player will take the free kick right on the goal line.
This is the replay of that incident, and Mark Roberts all over the top of Stephen Hocking, no doubt about the free kick.
It makes you wonder why they protest against the umpiring decisions, don't you? Maybe they haven't got the advantage of a slow-mo replay, but it was obvious. That mark is taken there by Burke at half-back.
Damien Burke towards Spencer. Fisted away. Anthony Rock almost threw it out, and it went straight to Buse. He's got Bruns, who's drifted down to the wing. Neville Bruns is away for Couch. The left footer could just about goal.
He summed that up beautifully, didn't he? I mean, I think you could see what was happening in his mind. I think for one fleeting second he may have looked at the pass, but then saw the goal unguarded.
Yep.
Well, once they made that break out of the back line, Neville Bruns was well and truly clear, all alone on the centre wing there, and Paul Couch saw that, made position, and from about 55 metres out, didn't go for too much, just let the breeze take it through.
It really was a good kick by Couch to get his first goal, and we're halfway through the second term, and maybe a crack in the dam wall has appeared. Ramiro, left foot kick towards half forward. Sparko, a little too high for that player. Back goes Wills, and he'll tap it over for a boundary throw-in. And it's left half forward for North Melbourne. Burke. There's Donald McDonald on the boundary line there, preparing to come back on for North Melbourne. They need him. They certainly are undermanned as far as height is concerned. Roberts being forced to do the ruck work. Chances for Lamb. Stevens the tackler, and Scholl. And a free kick.
Play on.
Oh, I don't believe it. Players confused there, and the mark taken by Poole. There's a North Melbourne free kick coming out of this, and maybe the Northerners will get their chance after all.
Well, the umpire confused everyone there, Robbo. The players didn't know what was going on.
Ellison's kick into the goal square. Ball bounces back towards the line. Denham gets back quickly. Left foot kick by that player, and a good mark taken by Simpson in the back pocket.
He's got Stoneham all alone on half back. No one on him, he runs on. Floating kick to accommodate Buse, but Sitsy's in business. It doesn't. And he's gone over the line. Affectionately known as the Rat down in Catland.
North have made another change. McCarthy off and McDonald on.
Couch waiting down in front. Off to Hinckley. Did he get one in the back? Didn't matter. He got the handball out. Romero, a chance. Quick kick towards centre wing. Stoneham and Burke, the two big boys, both there. Oh, Burke crunched by McDonald, but he gets his kick up towards the half-forward line. Bairstow, clean bowl. Romero takes the hand pass and gets North out of trouble. Only as far as Stoneham, however.
This looks like Mark Roberts now at centre-half forward and Donald McDonald in the ruck.
Stoneham goes short, finding Lamb. who spirals a punt kick deep into half forward. Romero waiting down in front. Pops it up, gives it to Carey. Off to German. Peter German. Over the wing. Wills to Hocking. Gary Hocking gets a left foot kick high up towards half forward. No one at home, and again Carey takes the mark. Wants McDonald and finds him. Across to Wayne Schwass. In trouble. Steele caught by Buse. Great tackle. One arm pinned. Makes it very, very difficult. Schwass butters up for another possession. To half forward. Wills almost took the mark. Gives it to Steve Hocking. A little too slow, but he did get rid of it eventually. German. Shepherding sees him clear. His kick is not a good one. It finds Larkin, however. He's got a bit of space here to Romero. Jose. Well, he goes laterally and finds Roberts.
They're worse off.
And he's given up ground, I think, too, Sandy.
They're worse off. He was about 42 metres away. Yep. This guy's about 47.
And he'll have to kick from probably
over 50.
Over the 50-metre line.
In fact, he's going to go short. And Allison takes the mark in the pocket.
And still on a pretty tight angle. So this is indirect football at its best.
Brett Allison. 25 metres out, so distance won't be a problem, but he's a left footer. Floats it across goal, and that is a mark. Roberts is going to go short again to Rock.
Ring around, what is it, Sandy?
Ring around the rosy. They've just about done a lap.
Well, they did, because Jose was on this near side, a little bit further out, went across, then it went in short to Allison, then Roberts finishes up with Rock.
Now, will he have a shot or someone just
5 minutes later?
Anthony Rock. From 25 metres. You wouldn't believe this. He's gone into the pocket and he's just about found Allison. Well. German can't take the mark. Schwass, hand pass. He wanted to get back to German. Couch sits on it. Where is it, he says. And eventually he puts it over the line for another throw.
You wouldn't believe that, brother. I can see you shaking your head there. But Rock, that he couldn't make the distance from 30 metres out for one thing, but the way they went so indirect, it was just amazing.
I think
Bernie, they were scared to kick at the goals.
Well, if you can have a lot of possessions, but eventually, I mean, the law of averages suggests that the opposition are going to get hold of it. They may do something here, North. German shot. Oh, he's nearly taken another spectacular mark, Brett Allison. But it's hurried over the line for a rush behind to the Kangaroos by Andrew Rogers. So Geelong lead by 5 points. But they probably had 8 possessions there, and eventually it was just a little tap down here from a hand pass from Wayne Schwass that gave North Melbourne, Geelong, a chance to take it away. Burke from centre-half back. Buse. Sweeping hand pass. Lamb. Kick in towards centre-half forward. Gathered by Spencer. Hand pass a bit too severe for Couch. Goes after it again, Couch. Just drops his head a little bit. Schwass is caught. Should be penalised. No. Too high. A little fortunate there, I think. Wayne Schwass trying to crash his way through. Spots a player on this right half back area. It's Martin. Runs back to give himself a little bit of space to get the kick away. High towards centre wing. No mark taken. Rock is there for North. And effects the hand pass, but it's well done by Trevor Spencer.
Yeah, great tackle. He's doing quite well at centre forward today too, Spencer, for Geelong.
He forces the ball over for a boundary throw in on centre wing. Burke and McDonald. Burke puts the right arm out and keeps McDonald out of the contest, but well done, Donald McDonald, to get back into it. But in doing so, your endeavours a little overzealous, and Burke will take the free kick. Centre wing, Geelong lead by 5 points, 32-27. Burke's kick, nearly marked there by Spencer. The crumbs picked off by Schwass. Handball away to Larkin. North Melbourne could get something going here. Romero's left foot kick is high, goes about 30 metres, basically up and under. Chance now for Stevens, just gets his foot to the ball, kicks it through the centre. Racing onto it is Bruns. Through comes Crocker. Very well done, Darren Crocker. You were one out and you had a real good go at that football, and you may nearly get a free kick. No. The umpire will call for a bounce.
Ball still on centre wing. Burke, Buse, Hocking, Simpson, Bairstow. Between centre and half forward. And although they've had the breeze, they certainly haven't done anything outstanding with it. Brownless trying to do the work from the back. Hinkley and Schwass both try and soccer off the ground, the latter twice. Couch claim. Buse off to Simpson. He's in trouble. Beautiful tackle. German. North could get out of this. Steele goes wide to Romero. And they're out of trouble. Up towards centre wing. Some holding on going on there. The umpire paid the advantage and now gets another one.
Yes, and a good decision too, because Paul Spargo couldn't get away, and still you shouldn't penalise the team which eventually takes the free.
This time he's off to German, who's had a much better quarter. Oh, McDonald played on, went back to him, he was almost out of bounds. Well, keeps it in play. A diving attempt to mark by Stevens is not successful. The hand pass by Lamb. Now Bruns. If it sits, he's away. Neville Bruns' floating kick goes over the head of Crocker and Darcy. It may beat them both over the line. It does, and we'll have a throw in on Geelong's left half forward flank with just over 5 minutes remaining. Geelong leading in a tight one, 5 points at the moment. But this game more important for North Melbourne really than Geelong. North cannot afford to lose it. Geelong can. Of course, they don't want it. Romero takes it from Crocker to half forward. Oh, Anthony Rock went up but far too early.
There's free kick against Rock. He got nowhere near the ball. It didn't matter anyway because Wills had taken the mark, but the free kick going to Poole.
Yes, he was the stepping stone. Oh, Kenny Hinkley concussed one moment and a fine grab the next.
He can play this boy.
So Hinkley down towards full forward. Denham caught at the back. Which way will it go, says McRae. I'll take it over the line for one behind. 5-3 plays 4-3 once again. 1 goal the difference, and Gary Ablett may be coming in on for the last few minutes of this quarter.
Bairstow, left foot kick in towards full forward. Buse marks.
Play on, play on.
Play on, says the umpire. Buse's kick across his left shoulder. And it's through for one behind.
Was that touch off the boot, Sandy? It was a clean mark to Andrew Buse. He doesn't know why the play on was called. Must have been touched off the boot.
Geelong lead by 7 points. McRae kicks in for North Melbourne to the far side. It'll go over without anyone touching it. So a free kick will be taken there for Geelong by Damien Burke. Burke not having the effect on the game that everyone would have thought with his superiority height-wise anyway. Kick in towards full forward. Punched away by Fairley was a very effective one. And it goes over for a boundary throw-in. Billy Brownless has kicked 2 goals. He's the leading goal scorer on the ground at the moment. And his opponent is Ian Fairley. 5-4 to 4-3, Spencer and Carey. Carey from behind. Spencer does pretty well. Larkin, kicked by Denham, is very close. No, it bounces across the face. And it goes out of bounds on the opposite side. Obviously, Denham just shaking his head there. Maybe someone suggesting that he could have got a hand pass away. Wayne Schimmelbusch still looking on anxiously. His team trails by 7 points. Carey punches it, so does McRae, and it goes through for another behind to the Cats. So Geelong lead by 8 points, and we've got just under 3 minutes left as Malcolm Blight gives the Stimmerol a bit of a run for its money.
Decent old workout. So back we come into play again. Hinkley forced to defend, comes over the top and spoils Crocker and Bairstow set over the line.
There's a change. Darcy coming off the ground to be replaced by Gary Ablett.
Well, no one able to break clear in this first half to date. At the bottom is Sean Denham. With him is McRae. It's on Geelong's half-forward line. Burke wins it, but it's taken by Larkin. He just gets a short kick across that half-back line. Picked up by Scholl. He drifts it back now in towards the centre. No mark taken. Stevens working hard in front. Does get the handball away. He wanted Scholl, but it's Buse. He goes over the top to Bruns. Neville Bruns from 50 metres. This may complete his comeback. It's a goal! Bruns gets his first and the fourth for the Cats this quarter. They are 6-5, leading North 4-3.
Yes, and a very handy goal coming up to half-time too for Geelong as we see this replay. Great tackle there by Lamb, I think the player was for Geelong, but Buse, just a bit of experience, very cool when he was being tackled, was able to pop that hand pass over the top, and Neville Bruns, who's had 15 possessions, finished it off with a good long goal.
And the Geelong fans finding some voice here at Waverley. Their team has kicked away to lead by 14 points with under 2 minutes left in this second quarter. Couch, well, hemmed in there by Schwass. And Wayne, I don't think there was any way the umpire was going to give you the nod there. Paul Couch. We've had a fairly interesting contest, those two players, very talented. Wayne Schwass and Paul Couch, both left footers. Schwass gets through, but it breaks down. Taking the football away for Geelong is Lamb. Handball goes to Denham. Denham goes one way, then the other. Still got the football. Lamb underneath. McDonald, Stevens, Ramiro gives it to Burke. The opposition up towards full forward. Chance now for Brownless. Swings onto the right foot. Kicks it high. And off to the right. And through for a behind. 2 goals, 2 for Billy Brownless. Geelong lead by 15 points. That was behind with a H.
The mystery of the missing H.
Not behind without an H, but trying to get them out quickly. Sometimes we leave them behind. Dean McRae now to kick the ball back into play for North Melbourne. Close to half-time here at Waverley. We've already mentioned the importance of the game for the Kangaroos. Burke marks the kick in. Geelong may score again before half-time. Burke's kick into the pocket. McRae goes back and oversees the ball trundling over the boundary line. So boundary throw in the right forward pocket for Geelong with half a minute left in the first half.
McDonald gets a late tap out the back door. It's socket off the ground only as far as Buse. He pumps in towards goal, but he goes right across the face and just drifts it in for one behind. So they've done a bit of peppering late in the quarter, but haven't been able to open up a match-winning lead. 6-7 to 4-3. In fact, they've added 4 goals, 6, so 10 scoring shots.
Yes, and only 2 to North Melbourne this quarter, Sandy.
Yep.
1 goal to Rock, and there was 1 rushed, so they've only had 1 direct shot at goal.
Now he's gone over the line, and it's interesting because the Geelong players in the last quarter asked the same question at the other end of the ground, and the umpire ignored it. This has not been ignored.
Well, it's a good tactic anyway, asking the question, because it certainly directs the umpire to watch it closely the next time.
And all that for that.
If the umpire calls or blows time on, how can the siren sound before he's blown time off, Bernie? Or had he blown time off?
Did he blow time on? That's a question. He mustn't have blown time on, because the timekeeper would have certainly... the clock wouldn't have started until the umpire bounced the ball again.
So it is half-time. John Longmire has been kept goalless to date. Barry Stoneham has had a good half in defence. The North defence having to work pretty hard in that quarter, with Geelong peppering the goals at half-time. The scores here at VFL Park. North Melbourne a 4-3-27. Geelong a 6-7-43. The second half here at VFL Park. Do or die for North Melbourne. They've got the breeze in the third quarter, and they're going to have to make it a big quarter of football. Couch gets Geelong into attack, however, down towards the 50-metre line. Crocker chances his arm, and it pays dividends. He kicks up over the centre, looking towards Allison. Hinkley back in defence. Ablett hasn't had many touches to date. Stevens, a quick kick over the centre once more, but straight to Ken Hinkley. Looked to have been slightly concussed early on in the game. Came back and is okay. Gary Hocking finds Paul Couch.
Just having a look at the changes, Sandy. It looks like Mark Roberts is at centre-half back for North Melbourne. John Longmire centre-half forward. And Carey playing at full forward.
Paul Couch is sending Geelong to the 50-metre line. Brownless in front, but good judgment by Fairley. Ian Fairley, his opponent, goes back to centre-half back. Schwass takes the mark. High and long, up over the centre. It'll be a North Melbourne ball. The advantage may be paid. No, Peter German will have to send it back.
Going back to Stevens, and I was just going to say that when Ian Fairley came on the picture just a second ago, he'd only had his first kick for the day, and Bernie mentioned that their key players haven't given enough. Fairley, Martin has been probably their best of the goal-to-goal line players. McCarthy quiet, Carey quiet, and Longmire quiet.
And really looking at Martin, he's played more as a half-back flanker today, picking up Gary Ablett.
And it certainly is a very important quarter of football. It's probably North Melbourne's most important for the season, as Lamb comes away from half-back for Geelong. Kicks it towards centre wing. Punched on again by Couch. Bruns and Stevens. Good tackle by Bruns. Stevens gets the handball away. Larkin. The harassment by Geelong was fantastic there. 3 or 4 players into the action. That ball punched away by Schwass. Punched away again, and that should be penalised most definitely.
Yes, he knew immediately too, didn't he, Robbo? He looked around to see what the umpire was going to do, so he certainly knew that he was going to be pinged for that one.
Couch will take the free kick for Geelong. He's a long way from goal. The kick towards the half-forward line. McRae pushed by Denham there, and McRae will take the free kick for North Melbourne. And it's no good defending North Melbourne. They need to get 2 or 3 quick goals to get some momentum up. Couch, Schwass, McDonald, Burke, and there is not one player going anywhere out there in that bog, and the umpire will call for a ball up. Certainly Damien Burke, when the last quarter comes along, will still have those long arms reaching up into the air, and Donald McDonald will be a very, very tired man. Schwass to Ramiro. Ramiro towards half forward. Punched away by Stoneham. Lamb is there. Good pressure by North Melbourne half forwards. Punched away by Stoneham. Lamb still doing some good work. Chance now for Stevens. Kicks it back the other way. Larkin in towards the centre. Ramiro marks. He plays on quickly. Left foot kick towards centre half forward. No mark taken. Gathered by McCarthy was very good. Away to Spargo. Doesn't usually miss these, Paul Spargo, and he bangs it through for a badly needed goal. Spargo gets his first goal, and North Melbourne get their 5th. Geelong lead by 10 points.
Well, very big quarter required by North Melbourne to get back into this match. There's McCarthy playing alongside Carey as a dual full forward. 2 players playing right in that last line of attack. And they are Wayne Carey and McCarthy, who is out on the lead. Gathered it nicely and fed it off to Paul Spargo for the goal.
Points the margin here at VFL Park. The Cats leading, but North coming back. Oh, look at Couch out of the centre though. Straight down the middle. He wants Brownless for front spot. Can't take it. Denham around his body. Kick the first goal of the game. Which way will it bounce? In towards the pocket. Wills is there for Geelong. He's going to run out of room. No, he gets the hand pass back towards Couch. Can't do anything with it though, and has hassled over the line.
You said something about Couch streaming out of the centre. Do you notice the ruck work? That was just perfect by Damien Burke.
Yep.
And that's the difference. That tall player up against the shorter player. As the game wears on, Burke will start to show his superiority, I feel.
Martin comes in from the side. Views tucked on the boundary line. He can kick miraculous goal, but he just pokes this up in the air. Simpson came out. Ablett off the ground, goals. Well, he just comes into the game intermittently, but when he does, it's very exciting, Bernie.
Yes, well, he certainly can be a match winner, Gary Ablett. He's had a quiet day today. He spent some time on the bench in that second quarter. He's been well held by Michael Martin. Let's have a look at Simpson. That was good courage by Sean Simpson there to go for that mark, going with the flight of the ball against the tide, as it were, and Gary Ablett cleaning up a very good kick off the ground to register that goal.
So whatever North can put up, Geelong seem to have the answers. Hocking kicks it to half forward. Awkward bounce. Fairly overruns it. Denham well tackled. McRae, who did the tackling, now comes away with the football. Handball over the top. Stevens caught by Bruns. Took it a little bit too casually, Anthony Stevens. Surely he must have known there'd be a player on his ginger there somewhere. And it was Neville Bruns.
Ginger man himself.
Ginger-headed small player for Geelong. And Bernie, you mentioned that he played a few games of the seconds this year, but he's had an injury as well, hasn't he, that forced him to lose his place?
Yes, originally he did injure himself, but he has spent a lot of time in the reserve. But a player of his experience, a very class player, Neville Bruns. Very classy.
Schwass's kick, rebounds. Couch. Handball over the top. Ablett. Denham to the goal front. Ablett again. Oh, it's going to roll on the line. It's saved by Donald McDonald. And boy, I had that one marked down as well.
Almost, Robbo.
Oh, I couldn't even get it over the line, Bernie. I tried, but
Had the whip out.
I certainly did. Mind you, if it was carrying my weight, I had no chance.
McRae to McDonald. Donald McDonald puts it out in front of Wayne Schwass. It's not a good kick, however. Bruns is close to the boundary line. He flicks it over his body and finds Couch. Oh, he's a clever player. Look at this. Arthur Street. Geelong peppering the goals. Brownell sets himself. No mark, advantage. Ablett again. Yes! Well, we said he flits into the game intermittently, but what magnificent work on that outer boundary, Bernie, by Paul Couch here.
Yes, he probably did a little bit too easily, Sandy, the way he got around those two North Melbourne players. Maybe not desperate enough to apply that tackle. And Gary Ablett, who's kicked two very important goals for Geelong in his third term, much better off playing closer to goal.
Well, he'd hardly had a kick in the first half, Gary Ablett, and spent a little bit of time on the bench. And we're only minutes into the third quarter and he's already kicked 2 goals. Gary Hocking forcefully gets through. Handball to centre-half forward, picked off by Mark Roberts, and the pass goes wide, taken by Martin. Well, North Melbourne have got the job in front of them now. They trail 5-3 to 8-8. And goals have been pretty hard to come by here at Waverley. Buse is caught and well tackled by Longmire, but the umpire will call for a bounce. Andrew Buse, of course, captain of Geelong, and a great little player. Ruck contest, Burke, Steele, Burke gets it, kick rebounds, Bairstow, away to Ablett, he's lifted, chased by Martin, gets his kick away with strength, up to full forward, Brownless! Well done, Gary Ablett, just having a bit of a dip back there between centre and centre-half forward, but Brownless, too big, and hands very, very good.
Yes, and Gary Ablett just having a little word to the umpire there. He wasn't too happy with the treatment he received after he got rid of the ball. And the 2 class players on the Geelong forward line combining there.
And Brownless shoots for goal, and he looks pretty disappointed with that. And he's missed from only 25 metres out on a very slight angle. 4 goals the difference now in favour of Geelong.
Panic station's up for North, though.
Let's have a look at what happened when Ablett got rid of that ball there, and Michael Martin.
The boot.
Yes, he had a little bit of rough treatment.
Well, Ablett is answering in the best possible way. Spencer. Good kick, good lead.
Yes, very positive lead there from Trevor Spencer, playing at his 3rd AFL club.
Having a pretty good game.
Very good game. He's played, what's he had? He's had 6 marks at centre-half forward. Whereas at the other end of the ground, Wayne Carey couldn't get a kick at centre-half forward, was very quiet.
So Spencer shooting for his second. Drop punt. It's going to go close. Or Brownless got up high at the back. Denham is there, but the whistle has sounded, and it's going to be a free kick to North.
It's free against Billy Brownless.
barely takes it. Kicks to the 50-metre line. Burke. And Geelong just starting to show its ascendancy now. Simpson. Bruns. 50 metres out. A little further, in fact. He waits for Brownless, fairly keeping a close eye on him. He decides to go for distance. Into full forward. Spencer trying to do the work from behind. Brownless picks it up, but he's claimed. The ball is held and will have a bounce.
Well, this term North Melbourne with a breeze, and they cannot get the ball across their centre line. Geelong with the ball in its forward line right throughout the term.
Denham trying to farm it out to anyone going past. Finds Bairstow, gets a short kick, picked up by Wills. He goes high, straight up and down. McDonald there with a fist. Pushed towards the goal line. Danger here again for North. It's rushed over the line by McRae.
Well, you wonder whether those two North Melbourne players are being wasted standing in the goal square in the attacking zone.
Here's another goal to Denham. Geelong starting to do it easily. Denham has booted 2. He kicked their first goal. Geelong are 9-9, North are 5-3.
As I was saying, Sandy, there's plenty of space in that North Melbourne forward line, but the two players, Carey and McCarthy, two classy players, are being wasted because the ball's not getting down there. As we see Denham kick his second goal, playing only his second match for the season, Sean Denham, and a very handy rover, a Victorian player in the past, and adding something to this Geelong side.
So all of a sudden the gap has widened to 30 points in Geelong's favour, and we've already said that North have the breeze at their back in this third term. Dominance of Burke at the centre bounces certainly given Geelong some momentum. There's Carey down at full forward, and McCarthy. McDonald high, but Burke gets the tap out. Taken away by German. Left foot kick by that player to centre half forward. Ball bouncing. McCarthy gives the handball away. Longmire must kick it. Must kick it. And does. So halfway through the third quarter, John Longmire kicks his first goal. North Melbourne get their 6th, and the difference is back to 24 points.
Johnny Longmire, 87 goals now for the season. He only kicked 2 last week in North Melbourne's loss against Fitzroy. And this is where those two players are at an advantage, because if North Melbourne can win the ball out of the centre and get it down quickly, they have two very strong leading players who can finish it off, but they must win the ball from the centre bounce.
39 plays 63, 24 points the margin. Burke wins it. Simpson ferrets it out the back door cleverly to Buse, who kicks to half forward. He wants Hocking, who hasn't had a major influence on this game. Allison could have almost been held. Past Denham to Romero. Jose's on half back. Kicks towards centre wing. Hammered defensively, but very well over the line. Kenny Hinkley, a boy from Camperdown. Stint at Fitzroy, wasn't happy, didn't like the big smoke. Has gone to the medium-sized smoke at Geelong. But is very happy. Burke. Oh, you just about get pinged there, Burkey. No, Denham. Away he scoots. They've got plenty of rovers down at Geelong. Robert Scott in the 2s. Down to Brownless. Almost interfered with. Umpire says play on. Back towards the centre it goes. McRae up with one hand. German shrugs the tackle eventually. Kicks to half forward. And the mark is taken by Longmire. And North are going to have to get a real wriggle on. They'd want a big lead at three-quarter time, with Geelong having this wind in the last quarter. Hinkley puts his body over the ball. Rogers tries to farm it away. Here's an opportunity, that kick going right across the face of goal from Paul Spargo. Out of bounds on the foot. And Spargo kicked a goal earlier in the quarter. Wayne Schimmelbusch and John Dugdale doggedly looking on. Try saying that after a few. Did I get out of stride?
John Dugdale. Larkin gets the hand pass away. It's in left half forward pocket area for North Melbourne. And Johnny McCarthy appealing for a free kick there but the umpire having nothing of that. So the boundary umpire being asked to throw it in. Stoneham, Longmire. Well done, Johnny Longmire. Ball comes to Buse. Buse has a look upfield, hooks it around his body. Mark taken by Bairstow. Quickly sizes it up, gets the kick away. Burke falls over. Critical. Chance for McDonald. Keeps his footing well, Donald McDonald. The left foot towards centre-half forward. No mark taken. Brilliantly picked up by German. Hickley's there. Larkin taps it on. Spargo falls over. And again, just a critical fumble, or stumble really. And a great tackle by Hickley.
He beat two of them, Hickley.
Yeah, it's just a slip there that was critical, wasn't it, Robbo, as you call. Spargo looked as if he could have been away and running into an open goal face if he had have been able to keep his feet. But unfortunately for him and North Melbourne, he just slipped at the vital time.
Hickley's kick towards half-back. Mark is taken by Couch. A little late on the scene was Donald McDonald, but Couch safely kicks it towards the wing. No mark taken there. Running onto it beautifully is Simpson. Handballs to his own advantage and gets it again. And forced to kick quickly with the left. It finishes in the arms of Ramiro. No one to kick to, so he bombs away. No mark taken by McRae. Running onto it was Carey. Rogers there to tidy up for Geelong. Bruns handballs into the back of Lamb. Lamb recovers. Left foot kick by that player to half forward. Wide. Out there is Wills. He leaves it for the more experienced Gary Hocking. Hocking's kick over his left shoulder into the boggy forward pocket there. And the kick off the ground by Wills. Was it on the full? Yes, it was. The free kick will go to North Melbourne to be taken back there by Fairley.
Too indirect there from Gary Hocking. He had Billy Brownless on a wide open forward line and went close to the boundary line.
And a good effort by Staritsky at half-back. He takes the mark at the second try. Justin Staritsky, who was a regular member of the North Melbourne side up until a couple of weeks ago, but just finding it a little difficult. The big punch goes back and Burke is there. Hooks the kick across his shoulder. Mark, no, certainly a free kick. Larkin, and it's against Lamb. Two ex-St Kilda players, Sean Simpson and Jamie Lamb, finishing up at Geelong after a brief stint back in their old town of Ballarat. Geelong just messing around a little bit at half-back. Stephen Hocking, little left foot kick in towards the centre, and the mark is taken by Sean Simpson, who has been a very, very good player for Geelong for the whole of this season. Handball away. Gary Hocking gets around McRae. Very, very confident now, Gary Hocking. Grown in stature now as a player. The kick to half forward. And it's a free kick to be taken by Gary Ablett against Michael Martin. And Michael Martin not happy.
Well, at least when he puts himself in front, Gary Ablett, against Martin, he has every opportunity of getting the free kick.
And he kicks it nicely into the pocket. The lead by Brownless. The pass was good. And bustling Billy has it about 35 metres out on a difficult angle. Well, there we have a very good shot at what is confronting Billy Brownless. You get the distance, I think. Drop punt kick. Goes across the face. Helped a little bit by the breeze. And it's through for his fourth behind. He's kicked 2-4. And Geelong have kicked 9-10. They lead by 25 points.
Allison brings it back into play. Danger though, because Couch is at the bottom. Line ball, that one.
Yes, and Paul Couch saying it was held in by Peter German, which it was. German just put his hand on top of it and tried to con the umpire, I feel there, Sandy.
Yep. We've got just over 9 minutes remaining.
Couch has been a good player, Sandy. 22 possessions.
Back to his best. His Brownlow best. Larkin claim, gets it out to German. Can North mount something? To half forward, Stoneham through his hands. And the young players that Geelong have brought in showing great maturity. Lamb at the bottom.
Free kick to Stoneham.
And Lamb is one of those players.
Yes, I agree with you, Sandy. A lot of little things, aren't there, that the players have to do if a team's to win a game like this.
Swash has interfered with Couch, and Paul Couch will take it on centre wing.
There's a little bit with Schwass there. Don't you think Couch may have been shepherding in the contest, Bernie?
Well, he was in front. I thought that... no, I thought the umpire paid the right decision, Robbo.
Denham.
That's deliberately. Surely that is deliberately out. Denham when he was tackled by Allison, who's been moved to the back line in this quarter.
You're not disagreeing with an umpiring decision, are you?
I'm sorry.
I don't believe it.
I'm sorry I didn't agree with you, Robbo.
I think those gloves he's wearing are having an effect on him. Throw in. Martin leaves it for German. A high kick into the space. Spargo got a bad bounce, then he copped a nice old bump from Neville Bruns. Hinkley can just paddle it along the ground. He's already gained 40. Oh, and he has an error. But he's good enough to go back and farm out the hand pass to Lamb. That is great football. If he goals here, you can put it down for Hinkley. Lamb set sail for home. And on the line! Yes!
You haven't lost your voice, have you, after all that? Gee, you got a little excited.
Oh, great play by Hinkley.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Yeah, it's good play by Kenny Hinkley. Here we see it again. Kenny, who copped a very heavy knock in that first quarter when he was taken from the ground. He spent some time on the bench. He appears to be okay now, but great play by both players. Firstly by Hinkley and then by Lamb to give the support to Hinkley and kick the goal.
Tremendous goal, wasn't it, by Jamie Lamb, and it came only a couple of minutes after you'd mentioned that he's been a very good contributor since coming off the bench for the Cats early in the game. Free kick is being paid in the centre of the ground to Justin Storitsky. But North Melbourne, when we expected them to perhaps get to the lead in this third quarter, they trail miserably on the scoreboard, 6-3 to 10-10. Storitsky will put them into their forward half. Nice long kick to centre half forward. Mark taken by Jose Ramiro. And one wonders whether he can kick the distance.
Will struggle, I think, Robbo, from about 55 metres, going for the pass.
And it's not bad. McDonald gets back, just can't quite get his hand to the ball. And it goes over for a boundary throw.
Disappointing this term for North Melbourne. They really should have come out and fired up. There's Ronnie Joseph, Keith Gregg, the former dual Brownlow medalist.
Ruck contest, ball gets knocked further away from the North Melbourne goal, and Bairstow has a bit of a look behind to see who the North Melbourne player was in that contest. Just stored in the memory bank for later on. Burke, McDonald, well done Donald McDonald. Spargo off the ground, helped along by Stephen Hocking, and it's through for a behind to North Melbourne. North Melbourne, they were 4-3 at the start of the third quarter. They're now 6-4 as Curly Austin and Trevor Keogh, I think that is, standing with Rod Austin, would have played most of their 200 games that they played for Carlton together in the same team, I would say, alongside each other.
They former teammates of yours, Ian?
Stalwarts, but well, one was a best and fairest player, and the other one was a player who kept Peter Hudson goalless on one occasion, Rod Austin. Did a little bit of football trivia a la I. Robertson. Damien Burke.
Didn't answer his question.
No, were they teamates of yours?
Oh, very briefly. I didn't play 200, Bernie, but anyway, never mind. The ball in the centre. Chance now for Ramiro. Pushing it for the further forward was Spencer. Now Gary Hocking to the other Gary, this time Ablett. The kick to centre half forward. Over the back of Wills, being held by Crocker. No, play on. Away goes Scholl. Geelong fans not happy. Ramiro over the top to Storitsky, and North Melbourne out of trouble.
Good umpiring, man. He played for that free kick, Sandy.
To Larkin, who gets it away to Rock. North have it going forward, but only as far as Stoneham. He can't complete the mark. Longmire can't strike the tackle. Almost held it a little too long. German picks it up, snaps round his body. It's almost in the square. Oh, lack of talking by Geelong. Poole in dreadful trouble. He was in two minds. And eventually Stoneham comes in to try and tidy up.
Well, Poole left it for Lamb and Lamb left it for Poole.
With nearly a critical error, wasn't it?
It was. Fortunately, Stoneham, who's had a good day at centre-half back, was able to come in and clean up.
In the square for North. Burke goes bang to Bairstow. Simpson, front spot. Scholl hassling and niggling, and eventually forcing it over the line.
Good contest, that one, on this near side centre wing. They've been up against each other for most of the day.
And that picture tells a lot, sadly, for North fans. They may have to wait until next Sunday afternoon in Adelaide for their fate. Who knows? It will just depend on other clubs' performances.
I'm just going to say that Simpson has had 11 kicks and 3 hand passes, and Craig Scholl 12 kicks and 2 hand passes. You couldn't get much closer to a line ball there, could you, statistically?
No, 30 points the margin, just over 4 minutes remaining. There's an extraordinary leap by Donald.
Well, that's what he's going to strive to do now because of the height advantage.
Burke's kick into the breeze. He wants Ablett, but Martin makes sure he doesn't get anywhere near the football. And Crocker takes the mark. Darren Crocker from centre wing to half forward. Well, there was only one player flew for that, and that was Lamb. No one tried to spoil. Buse is loose. North a little rattled at the moment, one fears. Andrew Buse, a wry smile, saying, well, where will I go? Eventually he decides on Spencer, and it's not a bad move, but he may have hurt himself. Could have had his foot trodden on. Gives it off quickly to Lamb. Back to Buse, who puts Geelong inside 50, but only as far as Storitsky, who gives it back to Allison. He's got Larkin loose on the outer side. Matty Larkin goes across the centre short and finds Schwass. Wayne Schwass inside 50 now, and Paul Spargo booted a goal in the third quarter and has a chance for another. Coming in for only his 5th kick, and North need one badly. It's high from the 50-metre line, but it's away to the right and one behind.
They really haven't had anyone to kick, well, a number of goals, have they? All singles. Spargo, Rock, Roberts, McDonald, German and Longmire.
And Spencer going off the ground after that incident where he's trodden on.
The kick in has been marked by Stoneham outside 50 metres. Kicks it towards centre wing. Ablett in front of Martin. Well done, Michael Martin. His team is looking down the barrel, but he hasn't given up, and he has a very, very good constitution, that player. Up over the top, Ablett gets the tap down. Denham takes the ball away, kicks it to half forward. What a wonderful grab by Neal. Away to Bairstow. Bairstow's kick towards centre half forward. Marking contest, Allison nearly had it. Hockey, handball away, into an open goal goes Darcy, and put down your glasses.
Well, he's just walked onto the ground and been presented with a goal, Bernard.
There's Sandy, but I feel that mark should have been paid to Brett Allison.
I agree.
He'd be very disappointed with that. He certainly went and said something to the umpire. He was in front, he brought the ball down, and there's a player who kicked the goal, Tim Darcy. They've got too many big guns on the forward line, capable of kicking a winning score, whereas North Melbourne key players have been well beaten.
"35 points the margin. Just over a minute remaining in this third quarter. It has not been a good one for North Melbourne. It could well have been a winning one for the Cats. Buse, he's a hard little worker in the packs. He's ripped off that football. Doesn't matter, Denham is there, but they've lost it. It's a free kick going the way of North to be taken by Romero.
May have been against Buse
Yes,
after he got rid of the ball.
It was, Robbo.
Well, let's see if they can score before three-quarter time. Just on a minute remaining. McCarthy has it fisted away down to Ablett, who rides the bump, but in doing so loses the football. It spills free. His opponent Martin cannot get clear, but he can get a handball away. Wider to McCarthy. Here's an opportunity for North. McCarthy's kick goes in towards full forward. Push down in front. Poole is there for Geelong. Hassled by Schwass. Carey close to the boundary line. Trevor Poole will keep it in and may just about lose it. No, the umpire says Schwass can have a shot. It's going to be close. In towards full forward it goes. Touched and one behind Ian. Now, how's that foot of Spencer's, Gerard?
Yes, he went over on his right ankle, Sandy, and he's gone up the rates with the doctor. So they'll have a close look at it before three-quarter time.
Okay, well, we've only got 25 seconds left in this quarter. Clean bowled was S. Hocking for no score, and it may result in a goal to Romero. No, wide and one behind.
And that's Jose's first score for the afternoon.
And Shimmer, can he see September action disappearing in front of his eyes?
Yes, as you said, Sandy, it could all depend on next week. We've got a tough game in Adelaide on the Sunday, and of course Geelong play Collingwood on the Sunday also down at Kardinia Park.
One would suggest that will be already packed out. Kick back into play, the mark taken by Burke. Quickly onto Denham. And like lightning to Couch. There's the siren for Steve Hocking. It's three-quarter time, but a great quarter for Geelong into the breeze at three-quarter time. Geelong 11-10, 76. Lead North Melbourne 6-7, 43.
Look a little more relaxed than maybe North Melbourne. 33 points is a tall order to overcome when you're going against the breeze. And at the start of the quarter, a 25-metre punch by Burke, but a free kick at centre-half back to be taken by Crocker for North Melbourne. Ball holds up a little bit in the breeze towards half-forward. No mark taken. Lamb is there for Geelong, and he kicks it back to centre-half-forward. Again, no mark taken. Defenders prepared to punch the ball away. Buse working hard at ground level. Crocker, handball over the top. Comes to German. German runs away from half-back. One bounce. The chaser is Gary Hocking, but German's able to get his kick away towards half-forward. Mark could have nearly been taken there by McCarthy, but in that contest, a free kick has been picked out, and it's going to John Longmire.
Yes, the umpire indicating that he was being held by Andrew Rogers. Longmire very quiet today. Only 3 kicks, 2 marks, and only the 1 goal.
Yes, he booted that in the third quarter. It's too far out to score here. 60 metres going into the breeze. Burke was the only one who got a hand to it. Poole waits down, gives it off to Bairstow, who lost it, but then was able to reclaim it and give it back to Poole, who taps it on for Hocking. He's pulled off the ball when he didn't have it. It's socket off the ground. Geelong out of the immediate danger zone. And a throw in on the outer side on North's left half-forward flank. Damien Burke. Well, Geelong fans will be looking for a big finals campaign from their number 1 big man. Scholl over the line once more. Burke and Roberts, who's been asked to do the work. Bairstow comes over the top. Steele. It's in that muddy area of the ground, but he does well to maintain control. And once again, the stumbling block is Barry Stone. He's been very good across that half-back line, Bernie.
Yes, he's certainly held them together across the half-back line, and he's beaten about 4 opponents.
He drifts it back towards the wing. Crocker trying to do the work from behind. Larkin uses his body nicely. Oh, but Buse is a magnificent tackler. Across to Scholl. Floating kick. Difficult one for Anthony Rock. Spargo also finds difficulty in controlling it. Bairstow, well smothered by Steele, but straight to Simpson. Geelong go up to their half-forward line. Neal trying to do the work from behind. Gets a favourable bounce, then gets claimed, but does get a short kick. Crocker intercepted by Denham, who farms it to Couch. He goes back to Darcy. They just work, Geelong. Down to the 50-metre line, only as far as Martin, and he's away.
Martin plays on quickly and finds Spargo very close to the boundary line. Handball over the top. German caught with the ball, but gets it away to Spargo. Ford throwing the ball against Peter German. Free kick will come back to centre wing, and it'll be taken there by Ken Hinkley. Hinkley, who was flattened early in the game and spent a little bit of time on the interchange bench, has come back and doing reasonably well. Kick towards full forward, marking contest. Under pressure, Steele. Kneeled, handballs away, Buse, nicely to Hocking, making a goal here from here, Gary Hocking. Long kick, hits the behind post on the full, so it's out of bounds. No, it's not out of bounds, it's a free kick, of course, back there to North Melbourne. The kick is marked by McRae. McRae plays on, goes close to the boundary line here on centre wing and members side. Tap on by the 2 redheads, Burke and Bruns. They can't quite control the football, so we'll have a boundary throw in on centre wing. He's been a good player, Damien Burke. Let's hope he can stand up. He's got, 5 more weeks to contend with.
Possibly.
Well, maximum, isn't it, for Geelong. Bruns kicks the ball to centre-half forward. Ablett, great use of the body. Terrific mark by Gary Ablett.
Yes, it's been good since half-time, Gary Ablett. And you see this very good use of the body again, just putting Michael Martin off balance, keeping him out of the contest. And he's playing there for a 50-metre penalty also.
We see him do that so many times, don't we? It's a bit of a trait of Ablett. He's not a real tall bloke, but quite solid, and he just gets his opponent out of it.
Yes, he knows how to play the game, Robbo.
Gary Ablett has kicked 2, and the distance is not a problem. He may have kicked his 3rd. No, he hasn't. 2 goals, 1 to Ablett, 2 goals, 4 to Brownless, 2 goals straight to Denham. The only multiple goal scorers in the game so far.
Scholl and Buse tangle. Just for a moment. Craig Scholl's kick up towards centre wing. Darcy got a hand to it. Couch waiting down. Paddling a ball along in front of him. Away he goes. Geelong inside 50 again. Neil caught behind. German away. Romero cross half back. Martin has to wait for that proppy hand pass, but he gets it off to Roberts, who's on centre wing. No directness about the North game at the moment. Romero to half forward. Steve Hocking at the back should tidy up, and does to Lamb. Burke spoiled from behind. Roberts picks it up. He may get collared from behind. Just gets his kick in time over and finds German. Off to Anthony Rock. Longmire. Well, kick from about 50.
Into the breeze, Sandy. I think this may stretch him, this.
It's going to test him, isn't it? Because he's a lovely deliverer of the ball. But this is a big ask. He's kicking from 52 metres and it will drop in the square. Working hard is Schwass. What can he do with his right boot? Straight to Paul in this crowd of 26,445 witnessing proceedings at the park here this afternoon.
Kick goes to the far side by Poole, looking out there for Stoneham. Punched away by McCarthy. Rock. Collected beautifully by Gary Hocking. Pass is magnificent. Finds Darcy. Runs around onto the right foot now. He ran a long way, but allowed to get his kick away. Martin running with the flight of the ball, and well done, Michael Martin. Takes a good mark with his eyes right on the football. Handball away to Allison. Allison with plenty of space out there on that far side. Left foot kick to the wing. No mark to Scholl. Able to get round onto his favoured right foot and kicks it back towards the half-forward area, but a mark is taken there for Geelong by Hinkley. Well, it's predictable stuff now for Geelong. They look as though they're prepared to see time out, and wins in this game and the last match would keep them in second posse.
Hence a trip to Perth.
Well, it may not, Sandy, because the Hawks playing Carlton, and percentage may come into it, but at this late stage in the season, you need to win very, very well to make up some sort of percentage on the opposition. Darcy in a little bit of trouble there.
Well, before today's match, they were only separated by 0.8%. Hawthorn in front of Geelong in front of Hawthorn.
Yes, that could change today, Robbo, couldn't it?
There's Hocking penalised there for a throw. No way known he was getting through there with 2 arms, and Larkin gives it to Crocker. Crocker goes to Spargo. Spargo onto the right foot, kicks it up towards full forward. Carey jumped too early, but Geelong just mopping up. No, free kick is coming out of it. It's going to Schwass.
Very fortunate, Robbo. They were away, Geelong. Again, the North Melbourne forwards caught behind.
And allowing Geelong defenders to come out too easily.
Yes, certainly.
Schwass from 40 metres. Not a bad kick by Schwass. Close to the line. Oh, it could have nearly been a mark there to Longmire in front of the pack, but it's hurried over for a rush behind at North Melbourne. So North not doing anything in particular. 6-8 to 11-11. Still the difference there, 33 points in favour of the Cats.
Rogers brings it back into play. He's looking for a winner, and he's found one right here in Barry Stoneham. They've had plenty of winners today. Stoneham from the back pocket spirals a low punt towards centre wing. Hocking like a steam train just runs on and on. Neeld again trying to do the work from the back. Darcy pushing down into the pocket. Will it sit for him? Yes. Ablett. This might test the great man here. Oh, could have almost been free kicked. He was steamrolled.
Well, it doesn't matter because it'll be a free kick to Geelong anyway. A free kick against McRae taken by Denham.
Waste no time. Inside 50, Sean Denham floats it in towards full forward, and Brownless takes the mark on the toss.
Poor marking back there, allowing Sean Denham to run off like that.
It's kicked 2, Billy. It's now booted 3. So steady as she goes for Geelong. They move to 12-11-83, north of 6-8-44.
Yes, Billy Brownless by far the best forward on the ground here at VFL Park today. Here's the mark again. Denham just raced away. No pressure being applied there by the North Melbourne defenders. And Billy Brownless in front of Ian Fairley. Took a very good, strong chest mark. And he's kicked 3 goals, 4 for the afternoon.
(12-11 to 6-8). No doubt about the result here at Waverley. Halfway through the last quarter. North are making a change. Carey off and McDonald coming on as Simpson streams through the centre. The kick smothered. Storitsky. Couch off the ground. May have been in danger, yes, and Paul Couch. And I guess that's what certainly wins the plaudits from the umpire. No argument whatsoever from Couch there. He knew he'd done the wrong thing. And the free kick being paid to North Melbourne. Bruns trying to get through. Burke a little kick off the ground. Now it's at centre half forward. Neeld contesting rather well. Storitsky comes in for North Melbourne, and between half back and centre wing, the short kick. Spargo, what's he going to do? Handball it away. German back to Spargo. Spargo from half forward hooks the kick, and Ramiro takes a good mark, and he's played a reasonable game. Jose Ramiro. This will be his 22nd kick, and as well as that, 6 hand passes. Still goalless. Longmire nearly took a miraculous one-hander. Hocking. Longmire's got it again. Shot for goal by Johnny Longmire goes across the face. And it's through for a behind to North Melbourne. 1-1 to John Longmire. 6-9 plays 12-11.
Just under 15 minutes remaining. Rogers goes to the outer side with a prodigious kick. Burke tries to hammer over the back, but it's Roberts who intercepts. Looks for Scholl. Craig Scholl still outside 50. Hinkley got a hand to it. Got a nudge, said the umpire. So Ken Hinkley to take the free kick from the back pocket. And as Ian said, really both sides are just playing out time now. North, although battling on, resigned to the fact they have missed the points, and Geelong safe in the knowledge that they have control of the game. Burke to Simpson, over the centre, but only as far as Michael Martin. He plays on. They may get into trouble here. They will. Couch to Hocking. A little chip. Can Billy get clear? He's got one hand. He's still going with one. Now he's got 2, but Fairley's got him. And he's lost it.
Well, that wasn't the best option there, Sandy, because Gary Hocking could have just handballed over the top to Neville Bruns, who was running by. Instead, he attempted to pass to Billy Brownless, who was fairly well covered there.
Towards McRae, the meat in the sandwich. Neeld takes it. Outside 50, goes in towards full forward again. Darcy has to do the work from behind, but he's quick to recover. He soccers off the ground, and Martin sees it spin prodigiously before picking it up, kicking short and finding Larkin in the back pocket.
Matthew Larkin, a little bit of urgency there by the captain. Kick wide towards half back. The mark is taken by German. Handball's on. Scholl running. North Melbourne need to get a bit of a wriggle on. We're more than halfway through the term. They've still got to kick 6 goals to get the points. But Geelong, the defence working very, very well. Here's a chance for North now. Spargo inside 50, ran the full distance and kicks the goal. Spargo, 2 goals in the North Melbourne scoreline of 7-9. Geelong at 12-11. That's a difference of 32 points.
Yes, and very disappointing North Melbourne since quarter time. They had 3 goals, 2 on the board at quarter time, and now only 7 goals, 9. So that's 4 goals, 7 since quarter time, and Geelong really have taken right over. Haven't been a desperate combination. You would have expected them to be much more desperate in this sort of situation.
51 plays 83. 32 points with just on 12 minutes remaining. Burke wins it. Denham tries to get it out of the centre. Ablett does with an intelligent soccer. Stopped, however, and sent back by McRae. Steele shows courage. Darren Steele will take it at halfback.
See, this season's been inconsistent, North, hasn't it? You know, a couple of weeks ago they beat the Eagles in a night match on the MCG.
Then Fitzroy beat them.
Essendon thrashed them out at Windy Hill.
Cannot work it out.
And up until a couple of weeks ago,
they beat the Eagles.
Well, when they were beaten, they were beaten badly.
Yes, they've really faltered in the big games this year, North Melbourne. The only one they've come through in was that night game against the Eagles.
Scholl up towards Longmire territory once again. Stoneham waits at the front. Rogers loses it. This could be a chance for Roberts here. Oh, he has a bounce. He'll go over the top. It should result in a goal to McCarthy. John McCarthy gets his first, and a couple of late goals for North Melbourne give them a glimmer of hope. 8-9 plays 12-11.
It's McCarthy's first goal. He's missed a lot of football this season with a knee injury, as has Carey, who injured a shoulder earlier in the season. He's on the bench at the moment. And Roberts getting the hand pass over to McCarthy. A very quiet day, McCarthy. Only 5 kicks and 1 goal. Started at centre-half back.
Ruck contest now. Damien Burke, very important ball here from the centre. Burke gets it. Neal. Couch, what a great game he's played. Couch. Sweeping hand pass. Bairstow. Well caught by Ramiro. Simpson beaten for it by Scholl. German knocked off the footy. Couch is in there again. So is Ramiro. Simpson caught. Oh, real struggle here. Buse. Opportunity for Burke. Flips it out the back somehow. Denham. Oh, he threw it to Neal. Umpire allowed play to go on. Neal's kick inside 50. Allison chops it off. Kicks it back into the centre. North are still going ahead. Well done, Peter German. Kick towards full forward. Longmire can't mark. Getting back for Geelong is Stephen Hockey. Nearly caught by Longmire. Handball away to Rogers. And Geelong will get out of trouble with a bit of composure. A couple of experienced campaigners back there, and it finishes with Stoneham. Long kick to the centre. Away goes Larkin. Taps it to the ground. Handball to Ramiro. Coming up for possession number 30. Kick towards half forward. Out comes McCarthy. Taps it on. No free kick paid. Stoneham and Schwass. And Stoneham taps it over for a boundary throw in. And the urgency rate just lifting a little. And maybe if North Melbourne had have gone after it at the same pace earlier, well, we may have had a closer game on our hands. Burke in front, gets a backhand to it. Out towards the boundary line, Bruns. Staritsky the tackler. Schwass, dispossessed by Lamb. Oh, in goes Schwass. And Bruns is at the bottom of all that. Let's see how he gets up from that. Yes, well done, Neville Bruns. A tough little campaigner, that bloke. And over 200 games for his beloved Geelong Football Club. Burke taps it away. Oh, Couch is underneath that. And the umpire will call for a ball up. Players getting very tired. So 26 points. There's Mark Roberts coming off the ground, and he's been replaced by Carey. I was going to say 26 points is probably more like 46 points in these conditions where the players get very tired towards the end of the game.
Carey's just come onto the ground and was given that one on a platter. He goes to half forward. Longmire manoeuvring for front spot. Schwass attempts to soccer off the ground. As Ian said, the urgency rate and desperation has just lifted a little in the last couple of minutes. But Couch will clear. Puts the foot on the accelerator and tumbles a punt down to the half forward line. Flick back. Ablett, there's a player gone. Neil will have a shot for goal. And he's kicked it. That will be the sealer. McRae is down.
Yes, he was met very heavily by Gary Ablett. He looks very, very groggy at the moment. Met very solidly by Gary Ablett. Good courage by McRae. He put his body in and went to tap on the ball. Tapped the ball further onto a teammate. And Gary Ablett saw the opportunity to run right through him.
And McRae in a lot of trouble there, obviously.
There it is again, Robbo, and McRae with his eyes on the ball. He had no other option. And Gary Ablett just took the opportunity to run right through him. He looks very groggy. He was hit very
I'll
hard.
ask you one question.
Yes?
I know it'll be a leading question.
Okay.
When a player doesn't have the ball, which that man did not, and the other player doing the tackling jumps in the air, is the tackle fair or is it deemed a charge? Reportable incident.
Well, it was very close to a charge, in my opinion. Very close to a charge.
The bounce back in the centre, Geelong 13-11, North 8-9. 8 minutes left, Bairstow. Quick kick to half forward, Crocker. Handball back to Storitsky. Able to run across centre half back. Doesn't quite know what to do with it. Then handballs it high, Larkin. Back it goes to Schwass. Schwass's kick to half forward. Mark to Carey. Oh, he looked the handball on. Now forced to kick with the little left footer. German. Handball away. Scholl. Left foot kick by that player to the front of the goals. No mark taken. In goes McCarthy, but he's beaten for it by Lamb, and Lamb's clever little kick goes over the boundary line just outside 50 metres.
Just over 7 minutes remaining. The Cats in control, margin of 32 points. Burke with that very typical flick, but straight to German. Down towards full forward it goes. Hocking, beautifully tackled. The ball spills free. Longmire tries to flick it out to a teammate, but is unsuccessful. Stoneham loses it behind his back. So too does Simpson, but he's first to recover. And good vision. Off to Couch. Away they go again. Down towards Brownless. He's at the back, fairly in front. Gets the hand pass away, but straight to Couch. What's he got up forward? Where can he go? Oh, he gets led. They had to stop him somehow.
Amazing. It's all stemmed from a mischance by North Melbourne when Stephen Hocking was tackled. 2 or 3 players and they couldn't get the footy away. And Sean Simpson's kick to this player on centre wing was good. And now it's up in Geelong's forward area.
Goes into the pocket. He wants Ablett.
Free kick.
And Martin has just given him a free kick, as Bernie said.
He was always going to be in trouble there, Gary Ablett, wasn't he? Michael Martin was too close. Here we go again. See this in replay. Gary Ablett out in front and Martin not intent on the ball whatsoever.
The look on his face.
Look out.
They've had some keen battles over the last couple of years, Michael Martin and Gary Ablett.
Wonderful look at what Ablett has to do to score a goal. See if he can. He's drifted it across the face and it's dribbled through. Or is it a mark to Neil? No, gone over the line. Took the second grab over the line, one behind. 13-12-90. North are 8-9-57. Allison. Short to Schwass. German. Martin. I wish they wouldn't kick it short to him, Bernie. That's the problem. Martin still going. To centre wing. Carey. Spargo loses it. Hinkley claimed, but he does get the football away to Bairstow. Steele stopped that attack. German now. Out in front of Carey. Steve Hocking soccers it out of his hands and over the line. in North Melbourne's right forward pocket as we go down to Gerard Healy. And what is the story, Gerard, with Dean McRae?
Well, he was away with the Fairies for a little bit of time here on the boundary line, Sandy, but at this stage he's got a grin on his face and he's okay.
Yes, he might have a bit of a headache tonight. Burke to Buse. It's been a familiar catch cry over the years down at Geelong, across to Trevor Poole. Now, he wants Rogers, but at the back is Couch. Gee, he's been busy today again, hasn't he? But you're caught there, Couchy. Scholl. Into half forward. German. His work rate has lifted considerably since quarter time. Stoneham has to do it with one hand, but it doesn't matter. Hinkley drifts in and floats across to take a timely mark.
Where's he come from, Sandy?
Camperdown. Western District of Victoria. Ian.
Pretty plush properties down that way, sir, too, I believe.
That's a great mark by Neville Bruns.
To Bruns between half-back and centre wing. Plays on quickly. Kick across his body. Hooks it a little bit too far. Crocker fumbles. Could have been important. No, he gets the hand pass away. Rock in the centre of the ground. Handball's away. McDonald directly towards goal. Centre half forward. McCarthy punched away by Poole. Schwass. Onto the left foot goes Wayne Schwass and has kicked a behind. 2 behinds to that player. He's had 15 kicks and 10 hand passes and 4 marks, so has played a reasonable game as Andrew Rogers prepares to bring it back in for Geelong. We've got just under 4 minutes left and Geelong lead by 32 points. Kick into centre half back, steals a chance. Tap onto the advantage of Larkin. He may be harassed out of it by Buse. Ball comes back to Simpson. Simpson's 16th kick. Crocker, good mark.
He's battled hard, hasn't he? Crocker from North Melbourne, yes, playing now at centre half back.
He just gets a little excited, I think, across that half back line at times, but tries very hard. McDonald's kick. German waits for it. Little lucky. Away to Ramiro. Ramiro gets his left foot to the ball. Kicks it to centre half forward. Gathered by Larkin, should really kick a goal. No, drops in short. Mark taken by Rogers.
Rogers wants to get on with proceedings as quickly as possible. He gives it to Poole. Good shepherding, sees him clear. Up towards the centre, and the mark is taken by Bairstow.
23rd possession coming up for Bairstow.
He kicks over the centre. Couch. Well, his possessions are in the 30s. Up towards full forward, Brownless and Fairley. Fairley has the better of that particular duel. Martin receives from Justin Storitsky and gives it to Donald McDonald. Runs his full distance, kicks over the centre, but that's a poor kick straight on to Wills. And that also is a poor kick. Suddenly become pretty dark here at VFL Park, and the Seagulls are having a field day. Scholl going underground. Actually gets across to Allison, but that goes straight to Hinkley as well. Under 2 minutes remaining. Hinkley's kick in towards full forward. Brownless picks it up on the half volley, but then gets crunched. German throws it out the back door. Quick kick from McDonald, and he finds Steele. Darren Steele is at half back. Says, well, where can I go? Eventually, he's given a bit of room by Crocker. Darren Crocker. Poor kick. It sits in the mud, that football. Stoneham and Carey. Stoneham's had a great day. He's just been unbeatable today and does that far too easily, finding Denham on the outer side of the ground.
Yes, I think you can feel that Geelong are going to win the game, and they're just seeing out time as Simpson goes into that forward pocket region, gathered by Ablett, pressure by Martin, kneeled, Martin just fumbles a little bit, Brownless good tackle, kick off the ground goes nowhere, Ablett over the top, and the umpire will call for a bounce about 25 to 30 metres from the Geelong goal. Under a minute left, so the Cats will retain second place on the ladder, well, at least on a points basis.
Maybe not, Hawthorn a big win.
Hawthorn playing up against Carlton, so percentage will come into it. North Melbourne still striving to clear the ball from the full back line. Allison just pushes it over, so we'll have a boundary throw in. Just seconds left in the game. Geelong will win. They lead by 32 points. There's Brett Allison. The ruck contest, Donald McDonald and Burke. Burke, who's been terrific. Allison, Larkin. North Melbourne will get it away, but this could be the last passage of play as Anthony Rock kicks it wide to the wing. Oh, there's a free kick, surely, to be awarded to Jose Ramiro against his opponent on this occasion, Stephen Hocking. Siren about to sound here at Waverley as Jose Ramiro kicks the ball to half forward, and it's all over. Geelong get the 4 points. They won the game by kicking 13-12-90, and North Melbourne 8-10-58. And some tired boys down there, Sandy. A very, very difficult playing day. Not necessarily because of the wetness, but certainly the wind blowing and the holding conditions here at Waverley. But, gee, they do a good job. They're great athletes, aren't they?
They certainly are, and I think Geelong would be happy to come out relatively unscathed. Spencer had a bit of a foot problem, turning an ankle. Kenny Hickley went off the ground for a while with suspected concussion, but I'm sure he'll be okay in a couple of days. Gary Ablett had a quiet opening, but then suddenly in that third quarter, when something had to happen, he booted too.
I think also Brownless coming back into the side and Burke seeing the game out. They're very, very important players. Brownless a key player on the forward line, and of course Damien Burke a terrific player around the centre of the ground, and those tall players, they certainly are effective in the end. But Geelong won the game. There's the score there by 32 points. The Cats 13-12-90. North Melbourne 8-10-58.